2014 Kings 11 UAE. He was scoring runs for fun. They wanted to push the boundaries back from Dubai to Sharjah at one point, I think, when you were playing. But your IPL story started a year earlier, when you came in as this, dare I say, the $1 million baby at Mumbai Indians. And how was the feeling? Here I am getting $1 million. The world's looking at me, but I'm only playing 3 games. Did you get the feeling, hang on, I'm not delivering my worth? Or are you saying, no, thank you, I'll take the check?
Well, it actually started the year before that. I was at Delhi Daredevils as a replacement player for basically a bag of chips and a can of Coke. And it was an amazing experience to, I suppose, be a part of an IPL. And I suppose after the first 2 games, all the big players, all the big overseas players arrived, and from going from one of the 4 players being picked, one of the 4 overseas players being picked, I was suddenly about 8th or 9th or 10th overseas player on the roster, and watching Delhi go about their business. But it was an amazing experience. And then the following year, to have the massive contract with Mumbai Indians, it was really exciting. But there was a lot of added attention that I probably wasn't used to, and certainly changed the way I was probably perceived in India, and not being able to really show my worth throughout that tournament was probably a little bit frustrating at the time. But we won the tournament, we played so well, and it probably wasn't until later on in the year when we played the Champions League that I was actually able to show a bit of my worth. I played really well in 1 or 2 of the games, and felt like I sort of belonged at that level. So it obviously came the following year that I sort of had my breakout year, but I owe a lot to those first couple of years where it was sort of warmed me into the IPL and gave me an idea of what to expect.
Was there a bit of a tall poppy syndrome in Australia, saying, who's this fella who's earning $1 million? I mean, an Aussie earning $1 million for 6 weeks. Was it a bit of the tall poppy syndrome in Australia thereafter?
Oh yeah, it was certainly met with a bit of a resentment, I suppose, from the public, and people probably treated me a little bit differently in public as well. I certainly caught my fair share of abuse of being overpaid and underperforming, and when I wasn't even playing, it wasn't really anything I could do about it. So it certainly had a bit of that effect, and Australians don't mind trying to bring down someone who is earning a bit more than they are. So there was certainly a bit of that.
What changed at the Kings 11 the following year? Was it just that you were in great form? Was it that George Bailey gave everyone a free hand to go and play? Was it the tracks in the UAE? What happened? I mean, you were scoring 90s of 40, 45 balls.
Well, I think once you start a tournament well, and I was comfortable, I'd prepared really well for that tournament. The conditions really suited me, and I think the attack that Chennai had that year, there was a lot of familiarity about it. I'd faced a lot of the players before, and I just felt really comfortable out there in the middle. There wasn't sort of too many unknowns for me. So a couple of guys that I'd played against before, they'd played for India, and I'd played internationals against. I think it was Ashwin Mohit Sharma that I'd faced a fair bit. Pawan Negi was with Mumbai the year before, so I'd trained with him a lot. So there was so much familiarity in that attack that I just felt really comfortable while I was out there, and there wasn't really a whole lot that I was sort of surprised by.